Welcome back to the cutting board. Today we are going to literally be putting bread on the table. Now you think that you put bread on the table because you went and bought some, or you think you put bread on the table because you made bread. But today I've invited Milan here to show us how to actually put bread on the table. Milan, what is step number one?
Well, the step number one, David, would be to mill our own flour.
That's right.
And what we're going to do, we're going to use this beautifully designed machine that is designed to mill from the wheat berries a fresh flour for our bread. That would be our first step. We're going to take these wheat berries, put them in this machine. I'll put machine on. And as you can see, the fresh milled flour comes out. We let the machine do all the work.
So while you were milling this flour, I mean, that aroma went everywhere, that fresh flour, and I just want to make this bread. Now, what are the ingredients for the actual bread?
Well, David, today, what I'm planning to do, we're gonna make 3 loaves of bread, okay? And we have here 6 cups of warm like water, between 10 and 11 cups of freshly milled organic flour. We have a 3 tablespoons of raw honey, and we have a 1.5 tablespoons of yeast, and we have a 3 teaspoons of sea salt.
So are you going to mix all of this together in this bowl then?
No, we will not. We'll actually today use the dough mixer. Let me show you how that is done. Everything that I'm going to show today, you can do all traditional way. You can mix all these ingredients within the flour and you can make it. But David, I don't like to make my hands dirty, so I like to make it. I like to make my dough in the dough machine. I'm sure everybody has a dough machine in the KitchenAid or something like that in the house that you can use. If you don't, you can just make it by hand. But today we are going to do this in this machine just to show everybody. So first thing, David, what we'll do, we're gonna pour those 6 cups of water.
Warm water.
Warm like, yeah. Not overly hot, but warm, okay? After that, if you can pass me honey, we're going to pour in the honey, which is raw honey. Again, 3 tablespoons of honey. And if you can pass me that knife beside you, I'm gonna just scoop this off my spoon. And I'm done with this, thank you. At this time, I'm going to pour in also my 3 teaspoons of salt. Then, as you can see, David, inside there's a little bit of clump. So I'm going to put this machine on, and this machine will do all the work for me, okay? So once I put it on, this starts turning around. If you notice, this dough is turning around, everything else stays inside, so it makes it very special. And this hand is actually the one that will start working like this, and it will do all this. So right now it's just the honey and the salt. You see how it's dissolving right now. It's
dissolving in the warm water.
Yes, yes, exactly. So the next ingredients that we're going to be using within this is our flour, and we're not going to use all the flour. We're going to use only 5 cups. Okay, so we put in 5 cups approximately, and we can pour a little bit at a time. Okay, as you can see that. This machine will do all the work for me. Now to speed it up a little bit, okay, we're going to use one of these and we are going to just mix it up a little bit. Okay, if you can bring me that plate a little bit closer, thank you. Okay, then I'm going to pour a little bit more flour in. What I'm looking for a smooth texture. And again, I just mix this up a little bit just to make it nice and smooth. And as you can see now, I have that nice smooth. This is basically the texture before you put yeast in. This is where it needs to be. Okay? So go ahead. You can help me. You can put the
yeast?
The yeast, yes. Thank you. And as you can see, yeast will mix really, really well in this. You can hardly do this by hand as good as this machine can do. And yet, we didn't make our hands dirty yet, which is really nice. So here, once we put the yeast in, it's very important to understand that we don't have much time. We don't have a whole day now to make this. So what we want to do, we want to come up with the texture. So we're going to start pouring in more flour in till we are happy basically with the texture of the dough. So once I pour in a little bit more flour, as you can see, start building. Also, this machine also does, I move it a little bit and you can lock it right there. You see there? So there is no buildup. Okay, and now we're just basically looking for a good texture. What we want to do, we want to make sure that this come off the walls. So if I move like this, it should be nothing on these walls here. Okay, I can also adjust the speed to go a little bit faster, and I just now adding this flour. Basically, how I know that this is good when this hand start moving. Okay. So I can speed up a little bit, and this hand will actually start moving. Okay, so I go a little bit more flour. Okay, you see how I'm kneading it right now? Mm-hmm. So you're kneading it beautifully. So if I move it to this side, it needs to come up the walls. You see how it's forming up the donut?
Yep.
Okay, so I like it a little bit more firmer, so I'm going to put a little bit more flour in. Okay, and I'm going to also speed this up a little bit. Okay, David, now you see this hand is keep moving
Back and forth.
back and forth. That means that is kneading really, really good for me. Okay, right now I don't need to be here anymore, so I can leave it alone. I'm going to set this on timer for 6 minutes. I'm going to put the speed a little bit higher. Okay, so to mix it really, really well, and I'm going to go and use this time to prepare maybe cooking pans to plan where I'm going to put it, and anything else that I might need here.
So I know that it's finished because, like you said, it's not sticking to the side anymore.
Exactly. So now I know it's done. It's well mixed, and now what we'll do, we'll need to just leave it in this for about 10 minutes to settle. See what's happening right now, the yeast is a little bit confused because it was just spinning and spinning and spinning, and it just like kind of a little bit lost. So we're gonna leave it here for 10 minutes. Before that, we're gonna take some of this out.
And if you were mixing it by hand, you'd do the same thing. You'd leave it for about 10 minutes as well.
You would leave it as well, yes. This is spring loaded, so it's coming out. See, that's how you know the dough is really nice, okay? When this comes out really clean, okay? And this here, you don't need to do much about it, but the only thing what you do, this dough mixer came with a nice lid, so you cover it, and we're gonna leave this for 10 minutes to just settle down a little bit. By the way, it should double in size, or at least come close. If you can remember how it was, it should in 10 minutes double in size.
All right, so we'll come back in 10 minutes and we'll see how big it is.
Yes. Well, it's been 10 minutes now. Are you ready to see?
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna take this lid off.
Well,
And what do you think?
It's really expanded.
It's actually quite uniducted, which I really like. It's really good. So from this point on, what we're gonna do, we are going to put a little bit of flour down, and we're gonna empty this right now.
I can do that for you.
Can you help me with that?
Sure.
Just so you know, you made your hands dirty before me.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
All right, he managed to do this without getting his hands dirty.
Very good. So what I'll do, because this is nice and clean, I can lean it, and I'm going to empty this right on the middle here. Okay, it should come nicely. Wow, this looks really good. You can hardly premix this by hand like this, as you can tell by the texture. And now at this point, we're going to just use a little bit of flour, and we just put over top. Some people, what they do, they mix this afterwards really hard and so on, just to punch all air out. But the way this dough machine do it is all the air is out. To be honest, if you don't want to do nothing else, if you want to put this on a sheet,
it's ready to go.
You can put it in. It will turn into nice, beautiful bread. Okay, but however, today what I'm going to do is we're going to make this about in 3 equal loaves. Okay, and we're gonna cut it. Make this into one. Okay, we make this one a 3, and there we go. Now have some fun with it. Not every loaf has to be the same size and same width and so on, okay? Because you're making it for your own household. So what you do, you put it in. So you don't really need to do a lot of this kneading after that. And some people say you gotta punch it, okay? I don't really do that, okay? To me, I basically just make this dough flat. I spank this dough.
Okay.
Okay?
No punching, spanking instead.
Spanking instead. And I just make it flat. There is no air inside right now here.
Okay.
That's all you need to worry, okay? This dough, and for some reason, this side is always nicer than the other one. You see the other side?
Okay, right.
Okay, how it comes in. So what you do, you just basically fold it in, okay? You bend these corners in, and there you go. There is your loaf. Ready to go.
So we can put that in the sheet?
Yes, please.
I don't need to oil this or anything
No,
like that?
nothing. This is a really good pan. They don't need any oil. It's non-sticky.
Perfect.
And all that, so it's really good. And what I like to do, I like to put this one on the side, okay, and I like to cover this right away with the cloth, as I do. Then I'm gonna form another couple here, okay, and again, I just made it flat like this. It's not a big deal. I was used to so scared about making bread. Making bread was a big thing, till I realized that bread is made of flour and water. And it's so easy to make it, so I'm quite happy to learn that. There's another one for you, and we'll do one more. Again, you fold it, and you nicely cover it, just over. There you go. And what you need to do, you need to leave this now for 30 minutes to rise. It should actually double in size.
So this is again going to double in size.
Again, it's going to double in size within 30 minutes. In that time, what you do, you go and set the temperature on 375. You preheat your oven, and that's the temperature that you're gonna be cooking this at.
And how long are we actually going to bake them?
We are going to bake them to your liking. Okay, I like my bread really well baked. I like the good crust. But I usually bake it in about 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. But you can do anywhere between 35 and 45 minutes, depends on your stove. And it's gonna come nice and delicious, nutritious bread. Well, David, this is our finished bread. It's full of life-giving nutrients.
I guess the biggest benefit of making bread the way that we've described today is that you control all the ingredients that are going in there, and you know that this bread is good for you and for your family.
Exactly, exactly. Would you like to try a piece?
Yes, of course.
All right.
That's beautiful.
What do you think? Should it look good?
That looks great.
Okay, how about the smell?
Oh, yeah. Intense.
Very good. All right. So
Perfect.
what I would like you to understand, David, when you're storing this bread, because this bread is full of live nutrients, nothing is removed from
There's no
this bread.
preservatives.
Nothing
in there.
So this bread can last only 2 days. Third day, depends how you store it, it's not good anymore. So my suggestion
what about
is,
my family then, if like we're not going to finish this in 2 days?
my suggestion it is that you cut the bread and you put it in the freezer, and you take as many slices as you want in the evening for the next day, and you come tomorrow morning and it's a fresh bread for you every single morning.
Perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and try this now, and I'm going to try it with a little bit of butter. You can get the recipe for this vegan butter right there. And I'm just going to put a little bit of that butter on here. But I'm not going to put it on the whole piece because I actually do want to try the bread just by itself. I love crust. It's got a great crust on that bread, but the bread is really soft. It's everything that I'm looking for in something like this. Milan, thank you so much for coming and showing us how to do this. Join us again on the cutting board for more great recipes. just like this.